Hi everyone, welcome to the short term course on the overview of the modern web development with MERN Stack. I am Kavita Shrivastava and today we are dividing into the exciting world of the modern web development. Whether you are a seasoned developer or just starting your journey, this episode will provide insights into the tools, technologies, and trends shaping the web today. So let us get started. First we start with the introduction to the web development. So, what is web development? Web development is basically the art of building a websites and web applications from simple static pages to complex platforms like e-commerce sites and social media. So, modern web development emphasizes performance, scalability, user experience. The field is divided into two key areas: front-end development, where the user interfaces and experience are built. Then the second one is the back-end development, the server-side logic, the data management, and APIs. So we will discuss both today along with the tools and frameworks that power them. So the web development we focus on the performance, scalability, and user experience. So front end and back end development both are the integral part of the whole web development. Front end basically deals with the user interface and experience. So technologies that we use with the front end development is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For structuring the web pages, we use HTML, styling and layout. CSS, Bootstrap, and Tailwind are also the technologies that we can use with them. Then JavaScript provides the interactivity and functionality. There are other frameworks also like React, Angular, and Vue.js that make it easier to build dynamic interfaces. For example, think of React. It lets you build reusable components. For instance, a login form can be built as a React component which is used across the app. And we can also do other things that are required with the front end development like state management. React provides us the tools like Redux, the context API that help handle complex data in applications. Styling is also evolving with CSS framework like Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS that makes design faster and more consistent. Then we come to the backend development. The backend process request interacts with the databases and serves data to the front end. Popular backend frameworks include Node.js, this is the JavaScript based framework, then Python and Ruby also provide the backend development. Frameworks like Express.js and Django simplify the server side coding. For example, an express.js routing might look like this, that app.get we provide the API, then request response, and we use the JSON format for this. Again, we also need with the backend development the database and APIs. APIs are basically application programming interfaces that enable communication between systems. There are several types of APIs. RESTful APIs use HTTP methods. Then GraphQL. These are the flexible queries and WebSockets for the real-time communication. This is an example of the React component. So you can see how simple it is to create a React component. We just create a JavaScript function with a name app and we return a simple HTML that will serve as the component. State management is also very simple with the React that manages applications state using tools like Redux and Context API. So again we create a context and then we can create a JavaScript function app. I will discuss these all these things in detail later. There are certain CSS frameworks like Bootstrap for responsive web design, then Tailwind CSS that will use a utility first approach. Example of Tailwind CSS, that suppose we want to create a button, then we create the component button, then class we specify. These are the Tailwind classes: bg blue 500, text white text, and pix4 py2. These are the margins and paddings. Then button will display click me text on it. Again, we will do CSS and bootstrap CSS and Tailwind in later. Responsive web design is ensures that websites adapt to various screen sizes. So whether we open our website on a tablet or mobile or a computer or laptop screen, the it will take the size and width and height of that screen. So for this purpose, we have media queries, CSS based media queries, fluid grids, and flexible images that we can use with the CSS and Bootstrap. For backend frameworks, we have several frameworks like Express.js, it is Node.js based, Django, Python based, and Spring Boot is Java based framework. Again, we need database technologies also to save for the data that user provides or any other things that we want to save for later use. So we can use MySQL and PostgreSQL. These are the relational databases, and apart from this, we can also use the NoSQL databases like MongoDB, Sandra, etc. And it is very simple to use MongoDB query like this example finds the user or the users who have the age greater than 18. Then the progressive web apps provide an app-like experience in browsers, and there are certain features of the progressive web apps. We get the offline support, we get the push notification, then these are the installable on various devices. The progressive web apps combine web and mobile app capabilities, offering online access and push notifications. We can use them in DevOps also. So they can integrate well with the development and operations for seamless integration with CI/CD pipelines. And we can use the tools like Docker, Kubernetes, etc. Then we can use the security practices like HTTPS and for secure data transmission. Then we can validate the input to prevent SQL injection and XSS attacks. Then we can implement authentication and JWT Java Web Tokens for authentication. We can also use WebSockets for real-time communications like WebSocket server. Then we can the testing is also an integral part of developing the web application, so we can perform unit testing, integration testing, and end-to-end testing. Deployment for and hosting, we use front-end Netlify and Vercel, and for backend hosting we can use Heroku or AWS. And Heroku deployment, we use the Git, for example Git push Heroku main. So for the modern web development, this is very dynamic and evolving field, and it combines robust tools, frameworks, and practices. It focuses on performance, scalability, and user experience. In our next video, I will cover the web development with the MERN Stack. Then we will go with the installation of Node.js and some editor like Visual Studio Code and MongoDB installation. Then we will create some React applications. So that is for all today.